Welcome back to Strategic, and today we're gonna watch Donald Trump body slam fake news network CNN. So while we've typically shied away from the discussion of politics in the past with our media, I have to admit this was not only well deserved by CNN, who really is turned into this giant fraud news network, but it was actually pretty entertaining to watch Trump slam CNN to the ground. And it's just, the thing is, all this fake news, while I don't agree with everything Trump does, all this fake news just confuses the public and it just adds insult to injury in a society where we're trying to overcome these really tumultuous times. We have all these conflicts going on in our society, and the last thing we need is big media organizations pumping out bizarre, unbelievable, and ridiculous stories. It's just nonsense. It really needs to stop. I think that this was, while this may seem out of character for a president to publish something like this to their Twitter account, because this is an actual post that was made on Trump's account, I'm sure by one of his media reporters. But yeah, I mean, they totally deserve this. They totally had this coming. There was another fake story this last week by CNN. This is not the first one. Uh, you know, they had basically flown into a panic on Friday. CNN did. They aired a fake news cover from the National Enquirer, which, by the way, was never actually published during Jake Tapper's broadcast, the lead show. Okay, which he was talking about the issue with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski's claim that Donald Trump, tried to blackmail them, quote unquote, with this hit piece in the National Enquirer, right? Well, CNN showed this cover from the tabloid, from the National Enquirer, which depicted Ted Cruz and his wife, Heidi Cruz. This was just like a few days ago, okay? And the headline was Heidi Cruz betrayed by cheating husband and promised details on a sordid threesome, sleazy love letters, and sensational photo proof. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, come on. Here the media is telling the president to hold himself to a higher standard, and they can't do it themselves. It's really, really, the media has a responsibility to report honest news, to be honest with the public, and not lie to us all. And I think the CNN has lost a lot of its credibility. And like I said, I'm one of those. I hardly agree with most of the things that Trump does. And we typically, with strategic social networking, we typically do not get involved in politics. It's something we rarely discuss. But what we do discuss a lot in our day-to-day operations is the media. We are a media organization. We do report news. Most of it is information technology related and related to social media, etc. Well, a lot of this fake news coming out of, these big media organizations like CNN are on social media. And it's just, like I said, it just confuses people. It just adds insult to injury. It doesn't help us to mend our broken ways and find a standard ground where Americans can come together. We have this huge, we are a society divided right now, and we need to get over, our differences and come together. We can't do that when we have big media lying, spreading fake news stories all over the web, confusing the public. And if Trump does something that they don't agree with, that's fine. I get that. But don't freaking lie about it. So several reporters from CNN got canned, including a Pulitzer Prize winner, This is really unacceptable. These are industry leaders. These are top U.S. journalists. These are top journalists, and they're the ones that are putting together these wild, ridiculous stories. Totally unacceptable. I have to say that I basically lost any amount of trust I had in CNN at all at this point. They put out a lot of really bizarre stories, during the election, during the campaign, and so forth. There was a lot of fake stories about Hillary Clinton as well. But unfortunately, when it comes to politics, it's a dirty game, and this is what we end up with. But yeah, this was actually tweeted out on Trump's Twitter account, and it's funny. There's actually sites on the web you can go to make these memes where you take a video clip and you basically put a logo over somebody's face, and to watch it, CNN get slammed down to the ground and get the beat down from Trump. And so now trending all over social media, especially on Twitter, is Fraud News Network, and it's referring to CNN. Well, this is what you get when you report fake news stories, when you lie to the public and you try to deceive people in order to manipulate their beliefs, their political ideas, etc. This is just out of control. And yeah, Trump probably does, he does probably skate a little on the, he probably does go a little bit overboard with some of the things that he tweets out and so forth. But yeah, I have to admit, this is the funniest thing I've seen yet. And yeah, CNN totally deserved this. They had it coming. You've been lying to the public. You've been reporting fake news stories for forever. If you don't agree with Trump's political agenda, then the journalists are welcome to give their side of the story. They can, if they don't agree with something, then go ahead and write about it. Give us your input. Everybody's welcome. If you're a journalist, you can still stress your argument without lying to try to manipulate the public. This is just wrong, what they're doing. And so, we're going to include a link below in the description of the video so you can check out the actual tweet, which, by the way, had 276,000 retweets, I believe it was, at the time of us posting this. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it had 276,125 retweets, almost 500,000 likes. And I think this really says a lot, because even the people who, like me, who don't necessarily agree with everything that Trump does, I'm sick and tired of media lying to us. It gets to the point where we don't know what to believe. These are the organizations that we get our news from. We're counting on them to be honest with us. We're counting on them not to lie to us, not to deceive us. They have a responsibility, just like the president does, and they're not doing it. They're not upholding that. But yeah, to watch this, this huge mockery of CNN and these other news outlets. Some of the other news outlets have also been caught red-handed, publishing fake news stories, across the web. And here's where we are. Here's the impasse. You can't fool these people on social media. They're not stupid. You start throwing around fake stories all over the social web, and it's not like cable television. Social media is not cable media. People can express their views against yours publicly, and you can't hide from it. I mean, if you start telling lies and stuff, people are going to call you out, and that's what's happening here. If you act a fool, you're going to be treated like one, and that's where CNN's at right now. And I'm sure, if anything, CNN's ratings are Trump is probably right. They're probably down the tubes at this point. It's really sad to see them, who used to be a trusted news entity at that, result to not just once, but many, many times, creating these bizarre stories. And this one from this last week, um, on the Jake Tapper's broadcast. I mean, that was just ridiculous. It was from, like I said, it was from a tabloid. It was from the National Enquirer, which obviously everything in there is a lie. Okay, and it was never actually published. And CNN threw it up on the show, on the broadcast, as it. And the problem is, it is literally fake news. I mean, do you not have any? I mean, do you have not? What is your editing? What is your editing team comprised of at CNN? I mean, who are your editors? Are these shopping cart pushers at Walmart? This is complete nonsense. Anyways, I had to give my take on this because I just thought this was so funny and it's so ridiculous, the things that CNN has been doing. And this is not to be political in any way, shape, or form. It's to point out that the media does have a responsibility. And here, like I said, strategic social networking, we write about things that are happening in the industry. We have a publication on Medium. We write about information technology and social media and social networking, etc. And we feel that we have a responsibility to be honest with the public. And when we see other media organizations lying to you, lying to the public, and telling you that flat out, straight up lies are indeed facts, I have to admit that really pisses me off. It really makes me angry. And what type of reputation does this build for a media organization? I think we're what, 150,000 strong on Google Plus. The strategic social networking community is, not including the brand page. And people trust us, and that's because we don't report fake news. We don't have journalists who just doctor up garbage garbage pieces to publish and lie to you and try to deceive you and make you believe stuff that's not real because they're trying to uphold their political agenda. This it has to stop. And I think this sends a clear message. Like I said, this sends a clear message to these media organizations that despite their size and their power, and they're just used to operating with impunity. That's part of the problem. They're used to just publishing whatever they want and just making up lies as they go and just getting away with it. And here, this is proof that you can't do that. It's not acceptable. And it's probably not acceptable for Trump to be doing either of these tweets like this either. But, if you play with fire, as the old saying goes, you will get burned. And here we are. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. If you operate a media organization, you have a responsibility to report honest ideas, honest content, and to portray honesty to the public. And if you can't do that, then you have no business being in the media business at all. There really should be, more punishments for those who are caught straight up, maybe reporting these fake news stories. Now, CNN did let go of 3 journalists as a result of this latest story that got pulled this past week regarding these Russian investigations, all this nonsense that they wrote about. So, anyways, definitely check out the tweet on Twitter. We're going to include a link below in the description so you can check that out. Maybe retweet it. I just thought this was just really hilarious to see this happen. Anyways, many thanks for watching, and until next time, take care. And definitely check out Strategic Social Networking's community on Google Plus, and join if you haven't already. If you're a tech blogger, etc., you're welcome to join the discussion and maybe post your content. We do promote tech bloggers and others in the media industry through our organization on Google Plus. If you have really good content, we will help get it out in front of people. Many thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.